Hi viewers, this is Dr. Muhammad Iftikhar from Pakistan. Today I'm going to present my lecture on Screwworm Myasis, which is also known as Gusanos mosca verde, Gusano berendo, Gusanuros. In today's lecture, we'll cover the information regarding the organism that causes Screwworm Myasis and its epidemiology. We will also talk about the economic impact the disease has had in the past and could have in the future. Additionally, we'll talk about how it is transmitted, the species it affects, the clinical and necropsy signs seen, and diagnosis and treatment of the disease. Finally, we will address prevention and control measures for the disease as well as the actions to take if screwworm myiasis is suspected. Screwworm myasis is caused by the larva of family Califoridae, Chrysomia bassiana, or screwworm, and the Cochliomyia hominivorax, New World screwworm. The New World screwworm is found only in the Western Hemisphere, particularly in the tropical regions, while the Old World screwworm is only in Eastern Hemisphere. Any warm-blooded animal, including humans, is susceptible to the infestation. However, screwworm myiasis is rarely seen in birds. Any open wound can become infected and is often characterized by a foul-smelling exudate and presence of larvae within the tissue. The sterile fly technique has been used extensively throughout North America to aid in screwworm eradication. The technique takes the advantage of the fly's breeding habits. The females only breed once in a lifetime, therefore, the use of sterilized male will result in unsuccessful mating. Mobility varies between the regions but can near 100% in favorable environments. In some cases, the navel of almost every newborn animal can be infested. Mortality is dependent on the number of egg depositions and the treatment of such infestations. If only one egg deposition occurs, or if one infestation is rapidly treated, the mortality is usually very low. However, if wounds are left untreated and multiple fly oviposites occur, affected animals often die within 7 to 10 days as a result of secondary infection or toxicity. Transmission occurs when a female fly deposits eggs in a superficial wound. One female can lay up to 400 eggs at a time. After hatching, the larvae burrow into the flesh. The larvae feed on the living tissues. They do not feed on the dead tissues for several days before dropping into the ground to pupate. The adult screwworms emerge and are ready to mate within 3 to 5 days, beginning the cycle again. Infected wounds attract other female flies and multiple infestations often occur. It is not contagious between the animals. Flies are transmitted to non-endemic countries, often through importation of infected animals. Humans are infected in the manner as the animals. Any superficial wound is susceptible to infestation. Humans are capable of transmitting screwworms over the long distances when screwworms adults are carried in the transport vehicles. Any wound can become infested by the screwworms. Larvae emerge from eggs within 8 to 12 hours and begin feeding. The initial infection is difficult to observe as there is little movement of the larva. As the larvae feed, the wound enlarges and becomes deeper. There may be hundreds of larvae within the wound. Within 3 days, the larvae are usually visibly embedded into the wound and a bloody discharge develops. There is often a distinct foul odor associated with the wound. Occasionally, the wound may not be obvious. but there will be a small opening in the skin with pockets of larvae beneath. The affected animal usually exhibits signs of depression, goes off feed, and separates itself from the herd. Animals often rub against the trees, lick the wounds, and stand in the water, attempt to relieve the discomfort. Screwworm myiasis should be suspected when clinical signs are observed. Differential diagnosis includes any flies that are capable of infesting wounds. Several types of larvae may be present due to likelihood of multiple infestations. Larvae should be collected from the deepest part of the wound, as a facultative larva may be present at the edges of the wound. Samples of the larva should be obtained before the treatment is begun. Treatment consists of topical application of larvicide directly into the wound for 2 to 3 successive days. Doramectin can be used to prevent further development of larvae present in the wound, as well as those that may be subsequently deposited. Spraying or dipping animals with an organophosphate insecticides such as Comafos will also provide protection against the reinfestation once the wound is cleared of the infestation. Any larvae that are removed from the wounds should be destroyed immediately. Infested wounds should be cleaned with an approved larvicide to destroy any larvae that were not removed. Organophosphate insecticides are effective against newly hatched larvae, immature larvae, and adult flies. These can be applied by dipping or spraying methods. No vaccine is available. In non-endemic areas, surveillance of all imported animals is necessary to prevent the entrance of screwworms. If screwworm is endemic, the animals should be checked frequently to discover and treat the cases. Spraying or dipping animals with an organophosphate insecticides will protect against the infestation for 7 to 10 days if wounds are present. Animal breeding and management practices such as branding, castrating, dehorning can be performed during the season when screwworm activity is the lowest. Well, that's the end of today's lecture. Thank you so much.